Hey horror fans, and welcome back to Around the Horrorsphere, a weekly show here on Morbidly Beautiful's YouTube channel where I, Nightmare Maven, give you the top headlines in horror for the week. Just like we start off every show, let's go through the horror-versaries we will be celebrating this week. So on May 7th, you can say happy birthday to Alexander Ludwig, who really has a thing for Final Girls, as he has been in two horror films, one called Final Girl, the other called The Final Girls. Also on the 7th, it is Breckin Meyer's birthday. He's been in cult horror classics The Craft and Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Then on the 8th, we can celebrate horror author Peter Benchley's birthday. And if you don't know who Peter Benchley is, you can thank him for writing Jaws, a book which inspired the popular horror movie of the same name. All right, also on the 8th, we have a movie birthday. On this day in 1958, Terence Fisher's Dracula, starring Christopher Lee as the titular character, premiered. All right, then on the 9th, you can say happy birthday to Rosario Dawson, who has been in such horror productions such as Death Proof and Rob Zombie's The Haunted World of El Superbeasto. Also on the 9th in 1980, Sean S. Cunningham's Friday the 13th premiered, and that it has always bugged me that it was not released on Friday the 13th. Why? All right, on the 10th, say happy birthday to Meg Foster. She's been in such horror films such as They Live and Jeepers Creepers 3. She's also a familiar face for Rob Zombie's films. She's been in The Lords of Salem and 31. Then on May 10th, back in 1996, Jan de Bont's Twister released. Twister is far and away a guilty pleasure of mine, and one of the movies that I watched as a kid and scared me so bad and helped make me the horror fan I am today. All right, then finally on the 13th in horror history, Daphne du Maurier was born. She was classified as a romance author, but her books often shied away from the conventional happy ending. It also featured paranormal overtones in most of her stories as well. She's written such books as Rebecca, Jamaica Inn, and she even wrote The Birds, which inspired Alfred Hitchcock's movie. So I don't understand how she is a romance writer. All right, now honoring some of the deaths in horror history. On the 7th in horror history, America's first known serial killer, H.H. Holmes, was executed by hanging. And then on the 9th, sadly, we lost actor Michael Parks, who's been in such films as the Grindhouse double feature from Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, Tusk, and From Dusk Till Dawn. All right, so now on to the headlines for the week. So first up is a new announcement from Netflix about one of their upcoming original productions. The online streaming giant is going to be releasing a dark take on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And executive producer Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, really hope I said that last name right, posted a picture on his Instagram of the star who will be playing Sabrina, Kiernan Shipka, revealing the title of the show, which is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The synopsis of the show reads as such. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina imagines the origin and adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a dark coming-of-age story that traffics in horror, the occult, and of course, witchcraft. Tonally in the vein of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, this adaptation finds Sabrina wrestling to reconcile her dual nature, half witch, half mortal, while standing against the evil forces that threaten her, her family, and the daylight world humans inhabit. We may have lost any chance of seeing a new Tremors television series, but I do have some good horror television news to share with you. FX recently ordered a pilot for Taika Waititi's and Jermaine Clement's What We Do in the Shadows, a New Zealand-based horror comedy, and apparently it was good because Netflix then ordered a 10-episode first season, which is set to premiere in spring of 2019. Genre giant Blumhouse and Hulu are teaming up for an original TV series as well. A collaboration called Into the Dark will include 12 standalone episodes that are going to be released on the first Friday of each month for a whole year starting in October. Not only that, but each episode is going to be inspired by or based around a holiday that takes place during that given month. So for example, the first episode, which is set to premiere October 5th, is probably gonna be about Halloween. And next up, we have some gaming news actually. Well, kind of. PixOwl, I hope I said their company name right, is coming out with a mobile app / game that's going to be based around R.L. Stine's Goosebumps series. The game, called Goosebumps Horror Town, is going to allow players to build a town full of monsters and humans that are fighting against each other. The description of the game reads as such. Players will build a town and fill it with over 50 signature scary monsters from the series, including Slappy the ventriloquist dummy, Curly the skeleton, the mummy, Murder the clown, the phantom, and even the lawn gnomes. Players take on dual roles, gathering a scary assortment of sinister creatures to terrify townsfolk and playing as humans to defend against the monsters by investigating monster activity and exploring the map to unlock new areas and adventures. As monsters, players can scare humans to obtain materials and add new creatures, while as humans they can gather resources, craft items, and spy on the monster. There is a trailer for the game which is out right now, so I'll leave a link in the description for that. And you're also able to pre-register for the game, which comes out in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store on May 30th. All right, and the last bit of news is a sad piece of news, and I wanted to include it in here as this just recently happened and I wasn't able to include it in last week's episode. Unfortunately, John Altamura, who played Toxie in 2 of the Toxic Avengers films, more specifically the 2nd and the 3rd installment, was reported dead by his family of a heart attack. The news came from his sister Lorraine Altamura yesterday. Well, yesterday for me. It was May 4th. All right, so that's all the horror headlines I have for you this week. As always, you can find more horror movie news and reviews over on morbidlybeautiful.com. Until next week, I'm Nightmare Maven, signing off.